Greetings, my name is Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. In the last episode, with some unexpected help from Kyoko, we managed to get out of that garbage dump that we found ourselves in, and while we were with her, she basically decided to finally reveal her true identity to us. That being that she is Detective Kyoko Kirigiri, the ultimate detective, who is a descendant of a long line of detectives bearing the same family surname. And the reason she came to Hope's Peak was to basically find her father, who was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy, and sever all ties with him because of how his leaving the family and leaving her when she was young basically caused a bit of turmoil in her life, just to put it lightly. And well, she decided to help Makoto out here because she felt responsible for Makoto ending up in the position that he was in, even though he knew that Kyoko during the class trial was lying about not being able to access her room in order to protect herself, and she ended up letting Makoto take the fall instead. So, once she saw that it was possible I was alive, she came to rescue me. And that's exactly what she ended up doing. And we got out of the garbage area and back into the rest of the school. And from that point onward, we enacted a plan that Kyoko thought up to basically confront the mastermind and present them with an ultimatum. Basically, in the short version of it is, because the method in which you try to execute Makoto was suspect, and that it was in reality just a little trap that you devised to try and ensnare me instead of Makoto. If you want to prove your innocence to everybody who is watching, that being everybody that this killing game is being broadcast to throughout the rest of this world, you need to agree to our terms to redo Mukuro's trial in a more fair manner and prove your innocence. Otherwise, if you kill Makoto now and do something to me for rescuing him, you would just basically be admitting to your own defeat. And well, the mastermind decided to agree to their terms, and so we're about to begin what is going to be our final investigation into Mukuro's death. And also, finally, am I forgetting something? No, I think that's pretty much the gist of everything. So, yeah, the mastermind's ensnared, and if we want to get out of this alive, we need to strike now and start investigating while we still have time. So, to that end, we've gone and met up with everybody here, and we're about to discuss, hey, yes, we're alive, and this is what we have to do if we want to survive. So, let's get everybody up to speed, shall we?
Makoto.
There's no time to indulge in an extended happy reunion. We need to explain to everyone what happened to Monokuma.
Yes.
Explain? Explain what? But is it okay that you're here? What if the mastermind catches you?
It's true.
That's related to what I have to tell you all. What? Don't tell me! Did he turn into a ghost? Does he look transparent to you? Ha! That's just a silly superstition. If ghosts were see-through, they couldn't lead normal lives. Okay, that's enough. Talking to you makes me want to just lay down and go to sleep. Yeah, I didn't press on the purple text because I didn't want to progress the conversation forward just yet. I want to see what everyone else has to say first. Ugh, you stink. Are you rotten? I'm Yes, I'm rotten. Robbie Rotten, to be precise. I'm number 1 at being rotten.
I'm telling you!
Rotten physically, mentally, every way you could be rotten! Sorry. I was rolling around in garbage for a while. This smell is so smelly. Well, I'd be very shocked if it wasn't. It is garbage I was rolling around in. Super smelly. You smell even worse than me. Way worse than me. You look like you're enjoying that. I win. She seems happy for some reason. She's undoubtedly happy because she is now officially the one person who is in this school who doesn't stink the most. Literally. That now belongs to us, Makoto. So, when it comes to a competition between you and her, when it comes to who stinks the most, well, she stinks the least, therefore she wins. So, Makoto, let her have this moment. She doesn't really have much else going for her. So what have you guys been doing while I was gone? Well, we figured that since this trial was over, we'd have access to new places again. And? No dice. All the rooms that were locked before were still locked. So there weren't any new areas. Then where can we go to find new clues? Well, as we were discussing with Kyoko in the last episode of Makoto, there is always the second floor of the dorms. I still can't believe you survived. Yeah, me either. Me 3. Do you realize why it is you escaped execution? It was alter ego. He saved my life.
That's right.
Not too many people can say they had their lives saved by a computer program. I imagine it was a learning experience for you. Well, I doubt it's really that much different from being saved by an actual human being. Or hell, even an animal.
Yo!
Makoto, what was it like hanging out in the spirit world? Smelly. I didn't go to the spirit world.
You know?
Did you get to talk to her? Who? Miss Cleo! No, I didn't talk to her. I mean, I didn't go to the spirit world! I mean, who the heck is Miss Cleo? If I had to guess, Cleopatra. That's probably who he's talking about. Alright, I said my piece to everybody. Now, I might as well just go ahead and do the usual coin search real fast. Nothing. Okay, let's move on.
Yes.
It's true.
I need to tell you all about the last class trial. Last class trial?
In other words...
We're going to redo Mukuro's trial.
Huh?
What? Seriously?
How about that?
What's the point of redoing it? Makoto killed her, right? No, I didn't do it. Like I keep telling you.
Wrong.
Makoto isn't the killer. And of course it's not me or any of you. Then, who is it?
I see.
What she's saying is, it was all the work of the mastermind.
Huh?
What? So you're saying the mastermind killed Mukuro?
That's right.
That's right. It was all an elaborate trap contrived by the mastermind. Makoto spotted the trap in time, and did what he had to stop it.
However...
But his decision meant that he would be the one to die.
What did you say?
You spotted the trap, did you, Makoto? You made it sound like it was easy. You know.
However...
But executing Makoto, who wasn't the Blackened, is a clear violation of the school regulations. The rules state that only the Blackened is to be executed. The mastermind broke their own rules. Which is why I went and negotiated with them to have the trial one more time.
Huh?
And the mastermind agreed? Does that mean they really did break the rules? They had no choice but to agree. You used the TV broadcast to gain the leverage you needed, didn't you?
Correct.
Very observant of you.
Naturally.
I recall what you said at the end of the last trial. When you said, now it's the mastermind that's ensnared, that's what you were referring to.
Don't be mean!
How is that mean, hero? Chill out, man. Somebody needs to give you a burger. Hey, I'm totally in the dark here! For anyone who doesn't understand, you can ask Kyoko to explain it again. Later. So, knowing all this, what do we do now? I think it should be obvious. We gotta get our magnifying glasses and thinking caps out.
About that.
It's about who killed Mukuro, right? So our job is to expose the mastermind? But there's more to it than that, correct? Yeah. For us to win this game, we have to solve every last mystery surrounding the school.
Huh?
Every last mystery?
But
We've been looking around all this time, and we still don't know anything, right?
anyway,
You probably guessed already, but if we lose this time, everyone dies.
Oh no!
I know, Hero, it's absolutely horrible! Which is why you gotta not be lazy this time. Like you kind of were like half of the other times. Everyone?
I hate you.
You too, Toko. Hey, who said you could agree to those terms without talking to the rest of us? I'm fine with with things the way they are. I'm fine with living here forever with Master! I don't think he agrees. I, meanwhile, want to get out of here as soon as humanly possible.
Anyway,
Anyway, at this point, the only way for us to survive is to unravel the truth.
Interesting.
In other words, one decisive final battle. A rather interesting development, I'd say.
but
figuring out who the mastermind is, and how they killed Mukuro, and all the school's mysteries? Better screw those thinking caps on extra tight. It's a pretty tall friggin' order. Maybe, but this time the trial is different. We know who our enemy is now. So we work together and search as hard as we can. I'm sure we'll solve all those mysteries. I'm not so sure about that. Huh? Way to be the real hope killer, Kyoko. I can't agree with the idea of working together with everyone. You can't agree? Why not? I mean, working together with everyone else seems like the most obvious way to solve all the mysteries.
indeed.
That's what I thought too. At first. Until Monokuma gave us that little hint of his. Hint? Very polarizing approach, but here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. I know a way to take a single step in Hope Speak. Yeah.
I see.
Monokuma did say that, did he? Kyoko, you're kind of forgetting, aren't you? You're not forgetting that little hypothesis you made earlier where the mastermind, which we kind of more or less proved to boot, that the mastermind can't monitor us and control Monokuma at the same time, correct? So, there is, well, what's left of us here right now, and the mastermind themselves. So, if the mastermind is one of us here in the group, hypothetically speaking, how would any of them be able to control Monokuma while, you know, being in plain sight of everybody? Come on, Kyoko, don't lose the plot now. Monokuma said that, did he? I think Kyoko's opinion is perfectly reasonable. I kind of don't agree. Huh? But why?
So, in other words...
If the mastermind really is the one who killed Mukuro, as Kyoko says, then the mastermind would have had to set foot in the school, right? Monokuma could probably murder Mukuro, but there's no way he could have disguised the scene like that.
In other words...
But according to Monokuma, the only people who have set foot in Hope's Peak are the 16 students who have taken part in the killing game. And the mastermind is... There were 15 of us in the main hall in the very beginning. Add in Mukuro and you get 16. So the mastermind would have to be one of them?
That's right.
And of the 16 people we started out with, the only ones still alive are the people standing right here. Need I continue, or do you get it now? What? You're saying the mastermind is one of us?
No way!
You can't be serious. Wait. We can't say that for sure. We can't say for sure that's true yet. Monokuma might have just said all that to confuse us.
Indeed.
It's certainly a possibility, but only one among many. The mastermind being one of us is also a possibility. And as one possibility we can't ignore. Yeah, I mean they're an ultimate, right? The ultimate despair. So they must be a high schooler. We can't say it's not possible. But if one of us was the mastermind, they'd have to be controlling Monokuma somehow, right? But did you ever see anyone acting suspicious anytime Monokuma was active?
Well,
Maybe they snuck off and controlled him in secret.
but
I don't care how sneaky you are. We would have noticed someone sneaking off that many times.
I'm right?
Then maybe Monokuma was on autopilot. Maybe they loaded up all the dialogue and actions beforehand. They would have to have been very perceptive on the kinds of responses that they would possibly get then, if that were true. And honestly, I don't think that's possible. In that case, there's no way he could have had all those back and forth conversations with us. Well, it wouldn't be entirely impossible if they directed the flow of the conversation. Well, maybe. But still...
This is a school announcement. You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode. So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school. Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit. Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
How very monogamous of him to unlock all the rooms.
That's fine.
The time for talk is done. Now we need to begin our investigation. But... I was planning on working alone from the beginning anyway.
In the name of my family.
At this point, I can only rely on myself, on the Togami blood flowing through my veins. I have no time to worry about the rest of you. Each of you must uphold your responsibility.
Goodbye.
Well then. After making this his final statement, Byakuya left the dining hall. Gah! Master! He didn't take me with him!
Hey.
Do you blame him? Without Master, the rest of you are like... clean smelling, and absolutely fine people? Coffee with cream without the cream! Or coffee! So, we're nothing. You're totally useless! Well, you see, that's the thing, Toko. How can we be useless if we don't even exist? So, bye. With that, Toko trudged out of the dining hall. And now she's gone. And you're gonna go off by yourself, right, Kyoko?
indeed.
That's right. Which just leaves Makoto, Hina, and me.
You know?
In that case, I'm gonna go by myself, too.
Just a second.
Wait, how come?
How about that?
Just wait and see. I'm gonna use my totally awesome spirit power to figure out the mastermind's identity. In other words, you're just gonna sit on your ass and do nothing. Right? Laughing loudly, Hiro left the dining hall. Everyone's really gonna go off by themselves. What about you, Hina? I guess I'll do the same thing.
But,
I mean, it's not that I don't trust everyone, you know? But up till now, I haven't really been all that useful. I just depended on Sakura and everyone else. You're not useless. If you hadn't been there, I would have died. Makoto. It's really nice of you to say. But still, I know I've mostly been totally useless. Well, you've been getting this poor boy into shape, haven't you?
Okay.
So I figure, at least there at the end, maybe I can find something that'll help us get out of here. So I'm gonna go off and do it all on my own. Okay, see you later. Hina was in surprisingly high spirits as she dashed out the dining hall. And once again, it's just us two.
Indeed.
Indeed. You sure you want to go it alone? How about you and I stick our magnifying glasses together and get a nice pair of spectacles? That sounds like a euphemism. So, you're gonna go off on your own too, right, Kyoko?
However...
Well, don't misunderstand. Just because we're going to do our searches separately doesn't mean we can't still work together.
So...
That goes for all of us. I think I see what you mean. Doing our own investigating doesn't mean we can't work together in the end. I should just see it as us splitting up to cover more ground. And then we can get back together and share what we found. Yeah, that's right.
So then...
Well, I better get going. I have an endless list of things I need to check.
Correct.
Monokuma said all the doors in the school had been unlocked, right? So we should be able to investigate every nook and cranny in the school. We can visit all the places we couldn't go before.
Makoto.
Makoto. No matter what it takes, we have to uncover the truth. I agree. Because I want to live. By any means necessary. With that, Kyoko was gone. Leaving only me. I don't have time to waste either. I have to begin my search. I still can't believe the mastermind might be one of us. So that's what I have to prove. I'll prove that the mastermind isn't one of us. I'll expose the mastermind's true identity and solve the mystery of this school. And then, we can all escape together. Let's do it! I guess I'll start by taking another look at Mukuro's Monokuma file. Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife, which went completely through the body, and we established that wasn't the cause of death. They had also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered in other wounds, but these were at least several days old. Once we find out who killed Mukuro Ikusaba, then we'll know who the mastermind is. So, where should I start my investigation to figure out who killed her? I guess I should start the rooms that were locked up till now. The headmaster's room, the biolab, and the door in the data center with Monokuma's face on it. Oh, and the second floor of the dorms where the gate was down before. That should be open now, right? After that, I'll have to double check the areas that are connected to the murder. Which means the garden and the dojo. Okay, time to get started. Places to check has been added to the True Bullets section of your handbook. I think I can remember all these locations, but time will tell. Okay, I think where I'm gonna check first is the data center, behind the door of Monokuma's face on it. So right where Hina is. If every door in the school is now truly open, then that means this door should be open too, I would think.
Hey, Makoto.
Ah, Makoto. Are you here to look around too? Is that what you're doing here? Yeah. I can't help but wonder about that Monokuma door.
Yeah.
So I figured, if all the doors in the school had been unlocked, that one should be open too, right?
But...
Although, I can't bring myself to open it. Because it might explode, right? And that'd really suck. So, you open it. I'm sure she didn't mean it, but she made it sound like she was okay with me getting blown up. History repeats, yet again. Poor you, Mr. Cracker.
Okay.
Thanks, Makoto. probably didn't mean it like that, but doesn't she care what happens to me? Well, of course she would. If you get blown up, then she can't use you as a human shield anymore. Okay, so I guess I'll open it. Wait! Let me take cover first! I don't want to get exploded! Hina raced over to a nearby desk and hid underneath it. Okay, go ahead! You're a real friend, Hina. Glad to know that you be right there with me when I need you most. This is the sort of stuff that shonen manga is made of, right here. Power of friendship, people! Everything will be okay. Right? Alright, here goes nothing. I threw all my weight into it, but the door opened much easier than I expected. This definitely looks like a control room, I would say. We even have little paw prints on that little screen monitor thing there. So yeah, I would say this has to be where the mastermind controls Monokuma. There was no explosion, thankfully. My first impression was...
Huh?
Whoa! This place is totally sci-fi! Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. So there's only 2 things to look at in here.
What the heck?
I mean, every part of the school leaves a bad taste in my mouth, but...
Just a second.
This place is like #1 gross! It's in a whole different league of creepy! So, what's this hatch thing we got here? There's some kind of hatch on the floor. Right now I'm more concerned about that weird device. What is this device? Looks like some kind of control panel. It's really over the top, though. Like some kind of military installation or something. Yeah. It kind of looks like a mech cockpit, right? I mean, Fumi would probably freak out if he saw it. Cockpit? He'd probably freak out over the name cockpit more than this room. So if the Monokuma room has a control panel, it looks like some kind of cockpit. And could that mean?
Okay.
All right, let's start poking at it or whatever. I'm gonna start pushing buttons. Dee Dee, do not touch that button. Hold on, you can't just or whatever something like this. But it was too late. Hina was already jabbing away at the control panel. Cue explosion. Huh? Did you hear that? Yeah, I think it came from the other room. Hina, what did you push? I'm not totally sure, but I think it was that one. The button that says Data Center. Data Center? I took a good look at the control panel. I saw a bunch of buttons, each with the name of a room next to it. And just like Hina said, there was one labeled Data Center. That must be the one she pushed. But the Data Center, that's right next door. The room we were just in. That's where the strange noise came from. I probably better go check it out. Why don't you volunteer Hina to do it this time? Make it fair. I volunteered to put myself at risk, now this time she does it. Yes, please. I'm kind of scared out of my mind right now, so I'll just cheer you on from over here. Hina, I like you, but you're a real freaking coward.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll cheer you on super loud from way over here. You sure that's a good idea? Maybe if you cheer too loud, it might cause something to explode in the next room. That's supposed to make me feel better? You don't want me to get exploded now, do you? Did I just hear what I think I heard? Is that Monokuma? Hey! Gwar! Give me all your donuts! Make me. Is that you, Hina? What? Aw, man, busted. How'd you know? Because you're the loco donut nut, dear.
Say what?
Anyway, what is this? Some kind of remote control camera kind of setup? You don't even know what you're controlling?
Hello.
Well, I mean, I can't really see anything from in here.
Found it.
Ah, guess what I found? A self-destruct button. Don't push it! Whatever you do, don't push it!
Too bad.
Aw, man. Do you want to kill me? You seriously gonna push it? Anyway, I guess that settles it. The room with the Monokuma drawing on it, and the control panel inside. Anyway, I guess that settles it. Well, there we go. That's definitely a control room. Whoa! Hey Makoto, what the heck was that just now? Monokuma. Huh? What do you mean? What you were controlling just now? It was Monokuma.
Huh?
Monokuma? What? For real? How did you not know that? How? Yup. It looks like that panel definitely controls Monokuma. Which means the mastermind has been controlling Monokuma from this room. Yeah. They're definitely in here. So where did they go? The mastermind has been controlling Monokuma from this room. And this control room is totally separate from the data center with all the monitors. In other words,
Hey,
maybe the mastermind can't monitor us and control Monokuma at the same time. That pretty much confirms it. Kyoko's theory was right. But if the mastermind's been controlling Monokuma from here, that means they've been inside the school this whole time, right? I guess that would have to be true. But if that is true, then Monokuma is also telling the truth, then, about how there's only 16 students who ever set foot here. And the mastermind, Monokuma's puppeteer, really is the 16th student? No, it can't be. There's no way. Right? Why can't it be? At this point, that's pretty much where all the evidence is pointing towards. So we now have the Monokuma control room. What's wrong, Makoto? I don't like that face you're making. Oh no. It's nothing. Stop with the nothings! It's annoying. It's just gonna make things worse. Oh, okay. See what I mean? You've already made things worse. Look at how downcast she is now. What about you? Is everything okay? Oh, well, it's just... This is where the mastermind's been hiding, right? Who knows if they set traps or something? I can't say it isn't possible. So I really hope it's not true. So, like... You want to leave soon? There's still lots of other places to check out. Yeah, good point. We can't waste our time standing around here. Okay, you want to get going? You're kind of forgetting about that hatch on the floor. I think maybe you should try looking into that a bit first. Yeah. Okay, good. You're not automatically leaving. Let me try. What's wrong, Makoto? Let's hurry up and get out of here. Never mind. I spoke too soon. Alright. Leave that one little hatch thing on the floor right here. Right here in the Monokuma control room all alone. It's not like that could be important in any way or anything. Right? Right? As soon as the door to the data center was closed, I heard a strange sound. What was that? Huh. The door. It just locked on its own. What? My hand shot out to grab the doorknob. You're right, it's locked. But why? Whatever the reason is, Makoto, I'm pretty sure it has absolutely nothing to do with that hatch in that room. Nothing at all. Of course it's locked, because the data center is now restricted. Monokuma?
Just a second.
Hey, no fair! You can't just go around restricting whatever you feel like.
Hey,
It's for your benefit. Because if that room stays open, I won't be able to move around. Imagine how depressed everyone would get if the school mascot just up and stopped moving. You are in a completely different world from the rest of us. Then, that room.
Yep.
As you may have guessed, that's where my controls are. So, right now you're being operated by someone in that room?
yes indeed.
Correctamundo!
You're a liar.
But that doesn't make any sense. We were just in there and we didn't see anyone. Oh, you didn't, did you? Are you sure you were as thorough as you could have been? No, we weren't. And that's because these two had their heads in the donut clouds. Did you happen to check a certain suspicious hatch? No way! The hatch on the floor? Too bad. That was your one big chance, and you blew it. I know, isn't it frustrating? Of course, that hatch can't be opened from the outside anyway, so whatever. I forgot about that little detail too, so never mind. The least you could have done was at least check it. Now then, this room is officially restricted, so no more investigating. Wait a minute. So if that hatch can't be opened from the outside... No, you probably use some kind of little toggle or switch or a remote or something to open the hatch. Never mind, I thought I had a contradiction on my hands. So no more investigating. I'll be relying on you guys to tell the others. Peace! He's gone. But
So,
was he telling the truth? The mastermind was hiding in there? In fact, if you think back to when we got locked out of the control room, that proves it for sure.
Huh?
Then, when I said we should leave... Well, that hatch couldn't be opened from the outside anyway, right? So it's not your fault.
Sorry.
Okay. Anyway, we don't have to let it get to us. We have to stay positive and make the most of the time we have left. You're right. There's one thing I'm good at. It's keeping my body moving.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go run around and tell everyone what we found here. Nice! You got me all motivated again.
You got it.
Okay, I'm out. See you later. Nina took off at a full sprint. I have to do what I can, too. That's the only way forward. Okay, one room down. Now next is the headmaster's room, which is right here on the same floor. This is the headmaster's room. I've heard an awful lot about it, but this will be my first time seeing it for myself. Ah, Makoto. It's you. Oh, Byakuya. Hello, Four Eyes. No soul. Well, you came to the right place this time. Would you like to see something interesting? Sure! Why wouldn't I? What do you mean something interesting? Take a look at this. It was on top of that pathetically ostentatious desk. Class number 78 student roster. Number 78. Student registry? It contains profiles for all of us. And a Mukuro.
So, in other words...
Apparently class 78 refers to us. Wait, when we found Mukuro's profile in Kyoko's room.
I see.
That's right. It also mentioned class 78. This must be where Kyoko got that page. And since the rest of our profiles are listed in there along with hers,
In other words,
there can be no doubt. Mukuro was a student here at Hope Peak Academy, just like the rest of us. Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student. That must be how Kyoko learned about it. But it seems that Kyoko was in a hurry. Huh? What do you mean? I'm talking about when she stole it. The uneven tearing, the way the paper had been crumpled, she must have been in a hurry. Well, since she snuck in to get it, I'm sure she wanted to get it out as fast as possible. But what's your point? She was in so much of a hurry that she only got the first page. First page? Correct. Mukuro's profile actually contains 2 pages. What?
so in other words,
In other words, when it comes to this profile, there was more information about Mukuro that we still didn't have. And what is that? What kind of information is it? Why do you ask me to explain every little thing? You can read, can't you? It seems to be some sort of detailed report put together by the headmaster himself.
interesting.
I don't know what kind of man he was, but I'm glad he left such an interesting clue. I was happy listening to Byakuya as I skimmed through the report. Well, there she is. Mukuro reappeared suddenly, and in the background, an entity floats, close but just out of reach. The entity known as the ultimate despair. Right now, I can't be sure if this is a single person or some kind of group. Whatever it is, Mukuro definitely has some sort of connection to it. I have a bad feeling about all this. I need to push forward with my research into the ultimate despair. I need to pay attention to Mukuro's behavior, too. This is just my gut feeling, but I think she's dangerous. Despite the countless battles she must have gone through as a member of Fenrir. When she entered Hope's Peak, she didn't display any signs of battle wounds or scars. That fact alone proves her tremendous skill in battle. Naturally, I didn't want to believe in her. She's one of my students, after all. I want to believe in her, excuse me. But if I decide she's a danger to the other students, I'll be forced to take all reasonable measures. Mukuro was a part of the ultimate despair. I don't think can be any doubt about it now. But wouldn't that mean Mukuro and the mastermind were allies? So why? Why would they kill Mukuro? Plus, even the headmaster seemed to be afraid of what Mukuro was capable of. They would have had to take her completely by surprise to kill her like that. Or maybe it means the mastermind is even stronger than Mukuro was.
What?
Now there's a scary thought. What's wrong, Makoto? Huh?
That's fine.
You seem to be lost in thought. But I should probably point out one other thing. There's another important bit of information within the file that you should note. What is it? Did you notice a picture in there? A picture of a girl perhaps you've never seen before? A girl who seems to be included as part of our class, number 78. So, never mind. That should be enough for you to figure out who the girl is. And further information about that girl is included in the file. 5 foot 7 inches, 97 pounds. And even list her vitals. 31, 22, 32. Well, what do you think? What do I think? Are you asking me, like, if she has a nice body?
Stop talking.
You hopeless idiot. What I'm trying to tell you is maybe you want to keep that in mind for later. Maybe you'll wait. Maybe you'll make your way back to the corpse, and maybe you'll think, "Oh, could that mean?" Wait, what is he trying to say? There's a chance the body isn't actually Mukuro? Is that what he's saying? Personally, what I'm thinking seems all but impossible. But it wouldn't hurt to confirm it, right?
It's all clear now.
That's all I'm trying to say. What you do with that information is your business. So I'm back to being Byakuya's errand boy. Mukuro's profile has been added. Oh, and one last thing. It's a bit of advice from me to you, so I suggest you pay attention. Advice? For me? You seem to get along with Kyoko quite well. Be getting along. It's not like we're getting along. She's just done a lot to help me. Well, don't put too much faith in her. Huh?
In other words,
The cost of that faith might be more than you can afford. What are you saying? Just what I think. Call it a hunch. Hunch? But my hunches tend to be proven right. The advice is free this time. Take it or don't, as you will. I'll keep it in mind, thanks. Okay, let's take a look at this thing. According to the headmaster's report, Mukuro did not have a single scar or wound when she came to Hope's Peak Academy. In addition, her physical features were as follows. Height, 5 foot 7 inches. Weight, 97 pounds. Vitals, 31, 22, 32. Now, why would this thing mention her vitals if they weren't in any way important to us figuring out the mysteries of everything, of all this stuff? As I'm pretty sure as we've already pretty much established, none of the truth bullets have any information that isn't in any way irrelevant to solving any of the class trials that we've experienced up till this point. So this information has to be a very vital clue. The question is, what exactly is the clue pointing? What exactly is the clue pointing towards? The bookshelf seems really well made, and it's filled with files and thick books. In the headmaster's room, there's a surveillance camera. Wait, let me think of something. Report card. I forget. Does Mukuro actually get a profile in here? No. No. Apparently not. I would have thought that by this point we'd get some. Well, no. I don't see why. Because, I mean, these little e-handbooks were made by the mastermind, so including information about the 16th student at any point would kind of go against their plans, basically. So, never mind. Class 78. Apparently it's us. His profile's on me and everyone I met in the beginning of Mukuro. Just like us, Mukuro was apparently a new student here at Hope's Peak. Mukuro Ikusaba. Part of the ultimate despair. Which means her and the mastermind should have been allies. Then why did the mastermind kill her? Weren't they friends? There are documents scattered all over the floor. Somehow it makes me feel anxious. Even in the headmaster's room, there's a monitor. There are trophies and even a shield in a TV display case. Okay, I think that's everything. So let's get out of here. Now we gotta head to the We're gonna head to the bio lab, and while we're up here, we're also gonna check out the dojo and the garden. Looks like a glorified freezer. Well, here I am in the bio lab. It's so cold. It's like abnormally cold. I feel like I'm in a giant refrigerator. Seriously, why is it so cold? So, Makoto, these tarps look awfully familiar, wouldn't you say? There's a stack of tarps here. I've seen a lot of these things lately. They look exactly like the tarp that we found during the last investigation to the last class trial, back in the tool shed in the garden. It's white colored, that tarp we found, just like these tarps right here, which basically means we can assume that the tarp had to have come from this lab. Ugh, so cold. What's so cold in here? But here's the question. I remember there being tarps in that storage area behind that physics lab on the 3rd floor. So, if the killer, the mastermind, wanted to basically get a tarp in order to hide and keep the body covered, why not get one from there? Why get a tarp from in here in particular? So cold. What's it so cold in here? It's the first thing I need to figure out. There are icicles hanging from the monitor. I'm surprised the surveillance camera can work with how cold it is in here. Some kind of weird machine or something built into the wall. Now on the left side, there's a bunch of glowing blue lights. But on the other side... there's some kind of weird machine or something built into the wall. I've seen something like this before. Ah, that's it. I've seen this kind of thing in horror movies and stuff. It's a fridge for storing dead bodies. So, does that mean that this biolab is actually a morgue? I should probably take a closer look around. So, let's see how many we have here. 16. And yet 5 of them aren't lit. Sorry, 6 of them. 7 of them aren't lit. So... There's just enough of these fridge locker things to store 16 bodies total. So I think we could basically probably safely deduce, even before opening this thing, that this is probably where everybody's bodies are stored after they're either murdered or executed. So, here's the interesting contradiction I noticed right away after making that assumption. If these lockers are meant to be for us, the 16 students that are in the school, then the ones that have lights lit on are probably for the ones that are already dead. Whereas by contrast, the ones that don't have lights on are for those that are unoccupied. So, there's supposed to be 6 of us left, including the mastermind. And if that's the case, why are there 7 of these things that are unlit, instead of just only 6? Very interesting little detail, wouldn't you say? You would think that all but 6 of them would have a light, indicating that they're probably being in use. There's some kind of weird machine or something built into the wall. On the side is a bunch of glowing blue lights. One's on the left. The right-hand lights are off. Whoops. This is one of those fridges they put dead bodies in. I've seen them on crime shows and stuff. Then, does that mean everyone who's died they're all in this little room? Some kind of weird machine. Come on, Makoto. There's gotta be something in here that we can look at. Oh, some kind of booklet here. There we go. Looks like an instruction manual. We offer an eco-friendly alternative to standard dry ice for all your cadaver needs. In addition to the germicidal lamps, we also provide an ozone generator for the removal of ethylene gas. Simply insert the cadaver, and the blue light will let you know that the automated systems have activated. Temperature and humidity levels will be adjusted automatically for optimum settings. With our system, anyone can keep a body fresh as a daisy for as long as you need. So, basically, these lockers can keep a body fresh. Very important detail, I would say. Especially given what else I just highlighted just a minute ago. In the unlikely event of a problem, the red light will activate and an alarm will sound immediately. The exterior is stainless steel, and we do offer an optional leather upholstery upgrade package. This is the instruction manual for the fridge? Looking around, I think I get it. Seems clear to me now. It's some kind of makeshift morgue. Biolab's secret. And about those lights by each slot. It looks like it's set up so when a slot is occupied, the blue light comes on. Which would mean inside each slot lit up in blue. Another one of the victims is blue Biolab lights. I can't let my emotions take control right now. There's only one thing I can do for everyone who's died. And that's defeat the mastermind. And to do that, I have to continue my investigation. I don't have any other option. Like I said, we need to keep this little detail about seven of these things not being in use instead of 6, like you would assume, in the back of our minds as we're trying to figure all this out. This is a very important clue. Okay, I think that's everything in this room. So let's go ahead and go to the garden. Mukuro's body's gone. Huh? It's gone. Mukuro's body. It's not here? So it would seem. Control panel set turn on 7030. There are still just 4 chickens left. Honestly, I'd be kind of terrified if there was one more than that. Maybe this flower ate it. The body. The Monokuma flower. Is it true? Does it really eat paper, plastic, and people? Oh, I'm sorry, what? What'd that say? Sarah gets soaked by sprinklers every day, right? And it doesn't break the camera? And anyway, yay! We finally got a coin! Maybe the body's inside the tool shed. Better check just to be sure. I didn't find anything even close to a dead body. But if it's not here, then it must be... Could it be in the biolab? But corpses aren't the only thing I need to check in here. There's one other thing. A tarp. A tarp played a key role in another case, so I better look into it. Now you're starting to notice the similarities between this tarp and the ones in the lab, buddy? I hope so. The killer used the tarp to keep the sprinklers from getting the body wet. Which means the killer might have left some clue behind here. Huh? Well, I think that pretty much confirms it. Biolab. I didn't notice this before, but there's a small stamp on one corner of the tarp. It says... Biolab? Then, this originally came from the biolab. So, let's think about this for a second. We have a tarp that was used to move the body, Mukuro's body, here in the garden, and it came from the biolab. And when we were in the biolab just now, and we figured out what the deal is with those frozen lockers, we noticed that 7 of them weren't in use instead of 6, like there would be if it was to coincide with all the remaining people who should still be alive inside the school. there's basically what I'm getting at is going by this stuff. I think it'd be foolish to not assume I think it'd be foolish to assume that that's a coincidence. That's really all I needed to check here. Basically, what I'm getting at is, going by these clues, I think it may very well be possible that a body was taken out of the biolab at some point and used for something. And the question is, whose body was taken? And for what purpose was it used for? Hey, Toko. Oh, Toko. So this is where you were.
What do you want?
Your friendship. Am I so disgusting you want me out of your sight? It'd be kind of counterproductive for me to come and look for you if I wanted you out of my sight, don't you think? No, that's not it at all. I just thought maybe you'd found a clue. Well, I haven't. I didn't find anything. Not a single clue. I figured since this place was related to the case, it would have to have something, right? But there wasn't anything out of the ordinary here. Give it back! Give me back my precious time! Calm down, Toko.
What's your problem?
Don't tell me to calm down. Do you have any idea what I'm going through right now? A crisis of lost time? I already am very familiar with that. When everyone finds out, they're gonna call me useless. Good for nothing. Nobody's gonna say that. Master will. Well, at least you recognize that much. I'm not sure I can disagree with that. I don't want that! I'm sick of always being looked down on. Why won't anyone accept me? Well, having a bit of a backbone would go a long way to helping with that, Toko. Well, I don't think there are any clues here, so maybe I'm gonna get going. Ah! Why is everything... There has to be something here. Let me look around. Suit of armor is on display. We got that lovely little monitor. Nature. Okay. Well, at least we got a coin out of that. Cherry trees in full bloom. I can totally imagine Sakura out here using this train. There's a bunch of wooden lockers in here. We found a clue in here, but it was just Mastermind's attempt to frame Kyoko. Well, how about that? It looks like there really is nothing in here. So coming here was just a waste of time. Okay, I checked out the garden, the dojo, the biolab, the headmaster's room, and the data center. Now, I think all that's left is the second floor dorms. So I'm gonna go right ahead and head on over there. Yep, they're open. The gate's open. We can finally check out the second floor of the dorms. Which means I have to do it. This place is a goddamn disaster. Look at this. There's even blood on the floor over there. This is the second floor of the dorms? Looks like some ancient ruins. Or no. It's more like a battlefield. Like a bomb blew up here or something. Yep. It looks like there's not that many rooms available to look at too. Let's check out this one. This bed is completely torn apart. Well, all it really looks like is just staying to me. I mean, it's not even really a bed anymore. It's just garbage. And yet, another person's garbage is another man's treasure, so thank you for that. I bet the toilets don't even work. I opened the door just a crack, glanced inside, and immediately closed it again. There wasn't even a hint of a bathroom. Just a big pile of rubble. Well, I gained one thing of value, if nothing else. Let's head this way. This is the girls' bathroom. In a place like this, I can't bring myself to go in. No one will care if you do! Nothing. At least the bathroom in here looks nice. I see some Egyptian symbols right there. Is that Cleopatra? Is that Miss Cleo? It's gotta be. What an interesting little bit of graffiti. This room is filled with lockers. It must have been for the Hope's Peak students who came before us. The class before ours must have used these lockers. With all the classrooms and desk seats I've seen here, this seems like a very, very, very big undershortage of lockers here. The class before ours must have used these lockers. Looks like this locker is already broken. Well, that locker over there is certainly not broken. There's a metal plate mounted to the locker. I really want to know what's inside, but there's no way. Well, apparently that's what was inside it. Money! Can't imagine any way to get this locker open. I'm not even gonna bother trying. Wonder if I can open this locker. Nope. Locked. There's a card reader installed on the door. That must be how you get the locker open. After all, it's pretty similar to the card readers for the locker rooms on the second floor of the school. And if you have to use your e-handbook to open those, up. So does that mean? Well, let's just give it a try. I took out my handbook and ran it across the card reader. And then, no luck. Maybe only the locker's owner can open it, which means none of us can do it. Let's try this one. Locked. No luck on this one either. Wonder if I can open this locker. Nope. One of these has got to be the right one. I don't think what now? I don't think this locker is going to open. Well, you're probably right about that. Metal plate mounted to the locker. Okay, let's try this one. This has got to be the last one. Can't imagine anyone can get this locker open. I think that's all of them. Okay, let's go down here. Kyoko's gotta be in here, I would think. It's the last place we haven't checked. This room doesn't really feel like a student's room. It has a more adult atmosphere.
Correct.
It's the headmaster's private room. Hey, Kyoko! Kyoko!
Indeed.
I've been through this room several times already, but I still have one little regret. So I decided to check it out one more time. Huh? A regret? Kyoko looks almost meek right now. She must be thinking about something. Probably shouldn't bother her. Looks like these are the only things we can look at. The desk is home to a computer. It must have belonged to the headmaster. And apparently he likes to keep loose change around here. A leather chair. I can't imagine a student using something like this. Must have been the headmaster's. Desk is home to a computer. There's a PC on the desk. It must belong to the headmaster.
It would seem...
Whoever used this last, it looks like they were very interested in the ultimate despair. The PC still has some search results left on it. Then we might be able to get some info on the ultimate despair?
However...
There's not much, though. Nothing we don't already know.
In other words...
The ultimate despair isn't one individual, but instead points to some kind of group. That group is responsible for the tragedy, which happened 1 year ago. They're the worst sorts of people whose driving force comes from despair.
However...
And that's all there is. Not much to it, is there? Well, I guess that's the best he could do as a complete Kirigiri failure. But any information about the mastermind is helpful, right? I appreciate whatever info we can get our hands on.
Correct.
I see. That's a good outlook to have. The ultimate despair has been added. Triple section of the handbook. Looks meek right now. Well, we have this clearly indented wall to look at right now. That's all we have left. Huh? There's a strange gap in the wall. Is it some kind of design mistake or construction defect or something?
So...
There's a gap here, but it's not just any normal gap. I can feel a breeze coming out. Breeze?
Indeed.
There's likely an open space on the other side of this wall. Open space? Does that mean... You mean like a hidden room? I think I might know how to open it. You know how to open it? Did you figure out some kind of trick or something?
Indeed.
A very easy trick, yes. So easy, I'm not sure you can even call it a trick. I saw a program on that PC that I think controls it. Enter the right password and the door should open right up.
However...
But I don't have a clue what that password might be. All we know is it's probably made up of letters and or numbers. We can't really go from there. You're right, that's not nearly enough to go on.
It's true.
I looked through all his paperwork, all the files on the PC, everything I could think of. I learned more about him than I had any desire to, but nothing that might have been his password.
Whew.
When I think about how much time I wasted on this. Jeez. So there's a hidden room she couldn't get into. That's what she meant by regret. I think we can assume that there must be some kind of clue waiting in there. But maybe for her, there's more to it than that. Anyway, if we want to get in there, we need to figure out the password. And if Kyoko can't figure it out, no way do I stand a chance. No, wait, there might be a chance. The password could be something Kyoko wouldn't have thought of. Or maybe someone she didn't want to think of. For example, what about your name?
What?
Huh? Oh, sorry. I was just trying to think of what the password might be. I'm sure she hasn't tried it. I mean, it's totally understandable. After the way she talked about her dad, the idea that he would use her name The idea that he would use her name as his password. Knowing how she is, I bet the idea never even occurred to her. Do you mind if I try it, just to be sure?
Well,
It's not like you need my permission. If you want to try it, try it. Do whatever you want. Okay. Alright, let's try it. You know, I'm glad I thought of trying Kyoko's name. But if that's not it, that might just hurt Kyoko even more.
hey,
If you're worried about me, Makoto, don't be. I already know that your guess is wrong. Okay. In that case, here goes nothing. I collected myself, then turned to face the computer monitor. Let me just type the password in here. I typed in her full name, Kyoko Kirigiri. My hands were tense, slightly trembling, and as I finished typing it in, looks to me like it was you who was wrong, Kyoko. What? That did it? Kyoko, it worked!
why?
Why? Kyoko? Without looking at me, she disappeared into the hidden room. She looked grim. Kyoko. Looks to me like he hasn't forgotten that he didn't forget you after all. In fact, I see an interesting little picture right there on that shelf right behind you. Hey, Kyoko? I may as well not even been in the room. Her gaze was fixed on only one thing. A present? Wrapped and covered with such joy. That's what made it so unusual. If I had to guess, it was someone with a very big and mean streak left it here. She was right, it was unusual. And she couldn't stop looking at it. No, not just looking. Glaring. I better check out the suspicious present before I do anything. Okay, fine. We'll go at your pace. There's a brightly colored box here. It seems totally out of place in here. The more I look at it, the more suspicious I get. Should we open it? I'm getting kind of a bad vibe from it. I mean, we can't not open it. Okay.
Makoto.
Be careful, Makoto. Why? Do you think it's dangerous? No, not dangerous. But surprising, probably. Huh?
It would seem...
If it is what I think it is. At the very least, it's not something you'll be happy to see. Wait, so... you know what's in there?
Anyway...
Just don't scream or anything, okay? Are you saying it's something that'll make me want to scream? Okay, I'm gonna open it. Step by heavy step, I approached the box. I took a deep breath, then took hold of the lid. Slowly, ever so slowly, I lifted it up. Light began to sneak its way into the box. I stole a hesitant glance inside and he screamed. Kyoko's advice was no use. I let out a trembling cry. Bones! Oh, what was in the box? It was bones. Human bones. It was the last thing I expected to find in such a bright, joyful box. That was probably the point. I mean, who could have possibly imagined
see.
Just as I thought. What? It was in the box. It's wrapped up all nice and... It was wrapped up all nice, so I never would have guessed what was inside. Human bones. Just as you thought. How could you have known that? I mean, there were bones in there. Human bones.
Wrong.
Well, it's not that I was thinking of the bones specifically. I just had a feeling it would be his body. That's pretty much the same thing! A dead guy in a box! My father. Huh? What about him?
Correct.
What you found in the box. Those bones. That body. That's my father. Or at least, what's left of him. Are you serious? This is Kyoko's dad? Well, I think we pretty much confirmed one thing without a shadow of a doubt now. The headmaster definitely is not the mastermind. The same man she's been searching for? Hold on. How can you know that for sure? How do you know? That's him.
So...
Given all the information we have already, that's the only possible answer. So that same person may very well be the mastermind who planned all this out. And according to the files, the headmaster is a man in his late 30s. Seems possible, even likely, that he's somewhere in this school right now. Very polarizing approach. Killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. The only people who take a single step helps peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. Since the killing game began, Alter Ego said that the headmaster was probably here in school. But the only ones who were alive at the start of the killing game were us 16 students. When you put those two ideas together, it doesn't take much to assume.
In other words...
That most likely, my father was in the school, but he was also dead. That's my assumption anyway. As Kyoko explained her analysis, she was completely calm. Or no, she wasn't calm. She was only trying to seem calm. She said it was just as she thought, so she knew it was a possibility. But I have to believe that at some point she wanted to be proven wrong. Which is why she never looked in the box herself, even though she had plenty of chances. I know Kyoko said she wanted to see her father so she could cut off all ties. Well, you got your wish now, Kyoko. What better way to sever your ties with him than this? Careful what you wish for, is all I'm trying to say. But was that all there was to it? I gave up some of that pride. In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. Would she really give up her pride just for that? I couldn't help but wonder. Hidden room present has been added to a truth bullet section. I feel like I shouldn't make pointless small talk right now. Maybe I should just look around a bit first. Let's try this desk. The headmaster's desk. It's probably hiding some kind of clue, so I really want to check it out, but I really don't want to touch Kyoko's dad's desk without her permission.
Hey.
Don't worry about me. Feel free to look around as much as you like. Are you sure?
Because...
We never let anything get in the way of the investigation. Never let anything get in the way. I don't. Okay then, if you don't mind. Starting from the top, I opened all the desk drawers and looked inside. I rummaged through each one, finding nothing but unrelated documents. But in the last drawer... Huh? Is this... It's an e-handbook, right? In case of emergency. And it has a label on it that says in case of emergency. I found some kind of emergency handbook in the headmaster's desk.
In other words,
A handbook with no limitations, given to the school's ultimate authority, the headmaster. I'm assuming that's what that is. I think you're probably right.
it would seem...
It might prove useful as we continue our investigation, kind of like those lockers we were looking at earlier. Why don't you hold on to it? Huh? But Kyoko, I don't need it. If you don't want to get it, go ahead and leave it here. Then, I guess I'll take it. Is it really okay? Well, at least we now have a nice little tool to help us. I don't think there are any more clues here. Let's try this. The filing cabinet seems like the kind of place you'd find a clue. I should take a closer look. I don't think Kyoko would like some stranger like me touching her dad's stuff.
Hey,
It's fine. Check out whatever you want. Are you sure? Okay then. I went through each drawer one by one, starting from the top. But all I found were piles and piles of unrelated documents. He's pretty dedicated to his job, huh?
well,
It's just because he didn't have anything else. He could have inherited our family business, our legacy. Instead, he left it all behind.
now,
If he couldn't even handle a job like this, he would have been that much more of a failure. I'm sure he couldn't stand the thought of that, and it made him desperate. Looks like the cabinet isn't holding any clues. Okay, time for the big emotional moment that is undoubtedly going to wait the second we check out this picture. Huh? This picture. It's all faded. It must be pretty old. I like how we don't see the man's face. What a very improper picture. Wait, is this a picture of... Hey, Kyoko.
why would you...
Well, this is annoying. I came here to cut myself free of the past. And it looks like he didn't. And yet... Now to find something like this. So what do you expect me to do now? Then I was right. It's a picture of Kyoko when she was a little girl. Knowing the headmaster had this picture all this time. And then don't forget the password. He must have really cared about her.
Why?
Why? What? I wanted to face him and tell him myself. To cut him out of my life for abandoning me. That's the whole reason I came here. And now he's abandoned me again. This time he even stole the only opportunity I had to move on. Has there ever been a worse father? Kyoko. Foe of Kyoko and Headmaster.
Hey,
Listen, Makoto. Huh. Can I ask you a favor? Favor? What is it?
so...
I know it's completely unreasonable to ask you this. And I know it'll only inconvenience you that much more. But
Hey,
could you leave? Of course. Huh?
correct.
Just for a little while. I just like to be alone for a bit. Kyoko. Don't worry. I'm fine. I just need to calm down a little.
Just a second.
I need to get my emotions in order. You know, Kyoko, you told me before about the relationship you had with your dad. How you're only connected by blood, not by heart and soul. But maybe that picture motivated him. Maybe he hoped to meet... Maybe that picture motivated him. Maybe he hoped to meet me again someday. Is that what you were going to say? If so, it's just a theory. And this isn't an issue that can be settled with theories. That picture doesn't change the facts of what happened. What I went through. That problem can't be solved so easily. You're right. I'm sorry.
Anyway...
Once I've got myself under control, I'll return to the investigation immediately. So please, just give me some time to myself. Okay, I understand. Then, I'll see you later. Is she really okay? Kyoko. Must have been a complete shock to her. I mean, it was a shock to me. To find out what happened to the headmaster. There's no doubt the mastermind performed that evil deed. They killed the headmaster. Killed Kyoko's father. They killed him. The headmaster is dead. You guys remember that executions thing we saw the very minute we booted up the game for the first time? About that man who was tied to a chair and then sent up into space in that rocket, and then come back down as a set of bones? I think we can safely say at this point that that was probably the execution of the headmaster that we witnessed. So here's the question. Why did we seize this? Why did we... No, wait a minute. No, that's not a contradiction because the headmaster was killed before a killing game began, so... Never mind. Never mind. The one leading the Hope's Peak staff, the one who finalized the plan to isolate you as Hope's Peak headmaster. But we were wrong about that. The headmaster wasn't the mastermind. Which means the mastermind's true identity is... one of us. 15 of us met in the hall, in the mail hall? In the mail hall. Well, there is a mailbox in there, so I guess that's technically accurate. Add a Mukuro to the mix and you get 16. Including me. Only 6 of us are still alive. Everyone else is dead. Yeah, but here's the interesting thing. It's Mukuro's body that we found. That we found in the garden. So she's been dead for a while. And yet, everybody else is also dead. Well, except for the 6 of us who are still alive here in the report card. So what I'm trying to bring up here is if there are 16 of us who were here when the killing game began, and everybody who is listed here in this report card, not including and is indeed who is actually here, and now and we added Mukuro to the mix, then we have a bit of a problem here, because we know that the people who are alive here right now can't be the mastermind. And yet, Mukuro is dead, and everyone else who could be the mastermind listed here in the report card is dead too. So that just begs the question then. What is the nature of this contradiction? And that's when I began to think real hard about this. When it finally dawned on me wait, like it finally dawned on me, how can this be possible? I began to look through everybody's report cards while thinking about Mukuro's information in that student registry thing. And that's when I eventually came across Junko's profile. Notice anything familiar in what's listed here on the first page? In fact, once I noticed what those familiar things were, I also noticed another thing. Once I thought about it some more. The picture of the girl in that student registry thing, and the picture of the girl that we're looking at here. Notice any similarities in facial structure and eye shape and all that stuff? And then that's when I also realized how the body on the garden looked when we found it. And how it looked to Junko's body when she was killed. Back in chapter 1 with those spear things. The body that we found up on the garden and Junko's body when she was killed was lying down in the same exact position. And that's when I also found out, that's when I also realized, not found out, the boots, the fingernails, they're both the same between the two corpses. I think you guys know. So you guys know where I'm going with this, right? I think I pretty much just completely spelled it out what all this means right here. So, maybe this Junko that we're looking at here might not have been the person that we think that we thought she was. Maybe the person that we're looking at here might have actually been Mukuro. And if that's the case, then we gotta ask ourselves, why would Mukuro want to impersonate Junko Enoshima? You guys can figure out the rest of this on your own, right? What all these little clues could be, all these little clues point towards, and how they relate to the true identity of the mastermind. It's very easy to miss, I will say, these little details. Especially if you don't think to check especially if you don't notice that little contradiction between that I just pointed out in regards to, well, everybody who's dead and Mukuro being dead. How can basically if all 16 students were accounted for in the report card sans Mukuro, and Mukuro is dead, and one of the 16 students has to be the mastermind. Well, and yeah. It's very easy to miss if you don't notice that little detail right at any point during this investigation. But if you do, then, like me, everything starts falling into place in regards to figuring out who figuring out who the mastermind most likely was. And yeah, I know, I hope you'll forgive me. Maybe I just presented a massive spoiler to some of you guys, but to be fair, this is technically something you could figure out on your own if you notice a few contradictions like what I did, like what I pointed out. So, yeah. I hope you guys can forgive me if this still bothers you regardless. Even Mukuro. Even she's undeniably dead. So the ones still left alive are me, Byakuya, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and Kyoko. Only those 6 people are still alive. Then there's no question. Wait, no, that can't be! I refuse to believe it. There has to be some other way. There just has to be. Well, I just pointed it out, Makoto, so don't worry. It'll take you a little while to realize it yourself, but we'll get to it eventually. So let's try out this handbook of mine that we just acquired. I wonder if I can open this locker. Try. Good luck. Wait, but what about that emergency handbook I found in the headmaster's hidden room? Okay, let's give it one more try. I took out the emergency handbook and ran that across the card reader and... Alright, just what I was hoping for. Now let's see what we've got inside. This locker is totally disorganized. And it's got a lot of interesting doohickeys in here that remind me of a certain somebody. Whoever it belongs to probably has organization problems in every part of their life. This is a crystal ball. Huh? A crystal ball? No. Can't be. There's no way he ever used this locker. It's just not possible. Spoiler alert, maybe it's Hiro who's the mastermind. Is this a desk of playing cards? No. They're tarot cards. But wait, aren't those used for telling fortunes? It's just a coincidence, right? There's all kinds of textbooks and notebooks stacked up in no particular order. And dust everywhere. I have to assume whoever's stuff this is didn't do a lot of studying. Not that I can really talk. Trying to act as casual and natural as possible, I picked up one of the notebooks I saw. But the moment I looked inside the notebook, any sense of uneasiness I may have had evaporated. Yep, it's Hiro's locker. Huh? There's no denying what I saw. Inside the notebook was written Yasuhiro Hagakure. This is our Yasuhiro? The notebook also contained a large number of notes for a variety of different classes, which would mean he attended classes here? No, that can't be possible. I mean, Hiro came to this school at the same time as the rest of us. And we were all sucked into this evil world. We never had the chance to take any classes. But then how do we explain these notes? So, what is this notebook? I think that pretty much covers everything. Let's check out the rest of these lockers. So grab the emergency handbook. Looks like the locker opened. Let's see what we've got inside. I don't see anything that might be a clue. Let's try this one. Nothing in here. One little notebook. This thing is practically empty. There's just one thing. Some kind of pocketbook. I don't see a name written on it, so I can't say for sure whose it is. But there's some writing inside. It could be important. I don't like violating anyone's privacy, but I'd better take a look. It looks like a girl's handwriting. All the letters are spaced out evenly, like whoever wrote them was measuring them. Whoever wrote this must have been really meticulous. Huh? I was flipping through the pocketbook, but my hand froze when I got to a certain page. I saw something familiar written there. Words I heard before. There's a plan to turn Hope's Peak into a shelter and isolate the students here in a communal life. I decided to talk to the one who came up with the plan directly. It just so happens to be the headmaster. And my father. So this is Kyoko's book then. He was willing to give me some more details regarding the plan. Here's what he said. The point is to keep our student prodigies safe must keep them as our hope for the future. Only their genius can overcome disaster, and only their hope can overcome despair. For the future of our country, our world, it's not an exaggeration to call this our final hope. We must isolate our superior youth from the corrupted world to serve as the foundation for a new era. This is the only hope we have. I hope that you'll be willing to go along with this plan. The only hope we have. So, we're apparently supposed to be the only hope. We're supposed to be the final hope of apparently the world, going by what this thing says. And when you remember that apparently a year ago, some sort of really nasty tragedy occurred, I think it's pretty easy to assume that these two are related to one another. That's what my father had to say to me. As usual, he made a selfish decision without consulting anyone else. I can't imagine a worse father. This can't be true, can it? But I knew it was. I knew exactly who the pocketbook belonged to. Kyoko. It couldn't be anyone else. But this belongs to Kyoko. What was it doing in this locker? And what she wrote in here completely contradicts what she already told me. She says she hasn't seen her dad since he left when she was little. I decided to talk to the one who came up with the plan directly, just happens to be the headmaster. What does this all mean? I quickly scanned the remaining pages of the notebook. I must have been looking for something that would prove me wrong about this whole thing. But when I reached the last page, the question mark spinning through my mind just started spinning in that much faster. When I looked at it, unlike the rest of the pocketbook, the writing here was messy, disorganized, scrawled. Despair walks among us, and so to survive... Crap, I didn't read that all the way through. What is this? What does it mean? I have no idea. How could this possibly make any sense? And so we survive. There's a second despair. So, notebooks and the like from Hiro, apparently, having taken classes, and a little pocketbook from Kyoko detailing her apparently having discussed the plan to isolate everybody. Even though it clearly contradicts what Kyoko just told us not too long ago about not having seen her father since she was little. Two of these pieces of evidence here don't jive with reality as we understand them. But the more I see it, the less it makes sense. The less sense it makes. Because these lockers, I mean, they had to belong to the previous students, right? So why am I seeing this? Why are there things in the lockers that look like they belong to people here? A notebook that seems like it belongs to Hiro, and a pocketbook that seems like it belongs to Kyoko. There has to be some kind of explanation. But if I want to find that out, I have to keep moving the investigation forward. I have to believe in everyone. Try this sucker. Nothing. Okay, I guess that's everything. Time's up, I assume?
This is a school announcement. Is everyone working hard? Is your investigation coming along nicely? Well then, since you're all giving it your best, your generous headmaster will give you a little hint. For those of you who are interested, please make your way to the gym ASA possible.
What? Now he wants to give us a hint? Suspicious, there's no doubt about that. This could be a trap. But even knowing that... He said to go to the gym, right? Hey, Hero. Oh, hey, Hero. Ah! Makoto! Why'd you act so surprised? Oh, no reason. You heard Monokuma's announcement, right? Are you here to find out what he has to say? I just did, actually. I'm on my way out. You already talked to him? What do you say? Listen, sorry, but I gotta go! Hiro, wait! There was no point in trying to stop him. He ran off like a frightened animal. Hiro? It's like he was trying to avoid me. I was hoping to talk to him about the notebook I found in the locker. Has he been hiding something this whole time? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10.
I am Monokuma!
Hello, welcome, hello. Are you ready for your final hint? Well, it just so happens to be in the envelope on the ground in front of you. The envelope. Ready for the final hint? It's the envelope on the ground in front of you. Okay, fine. I thought you had something new to say. This must be the envelope. And just so you know, I won't be answering any questions about what you find inside. What? Don't worry, just get on with it. Monokuma's cryptic words didn't even make me feel any better. But I picked up the envelope and opened it. What I found was a single photograph. Well, this does not jive at all with reality. This isn't how we met for the first time. Very interesting, I would say. Also, poor Junko, your face is blocked by Hiro's outstretched arm. How rude. Featured a bunch of faces I recognized extremely well. It was everyone who come to Hope's Peak at the same time as me. Of course, we can't forget Mukuro over there on the left. Wait, but... There's someone behind Sayaka. She's the only one I don't recognize. Really? You sure you don't recognize her? Not even the very subtle freckles on her face that we just saw? Wait, that's not true. I do recognize her! That's right. When Byaku and I were in the headmaster's room, and we looked at that file. Mukuro Ikusaba. Then this girl is... What? Why? Why is Mukuro here if everyone else? And even more than that. Just having everyone here pose like this is weird enough by itself. And we're all wearing matching uniforms. I don't remember anything like this. And now that I'm looking at it, it's not even everyone. I'm not in the picture. I'm the only one not there. The picture has all 15 other students. But not me. Maybe it's because you're the one taking the picture. But I guess that makes sense. After all, I don't ever remember taking a picture like this. I went to junior high with Sayaka, but the first time I met everyone else was when I arrived here at Hope's Peak Academy. So it's natural for me not to be in this picture. But what's definitely unnatural is that everyone else is in the picture. I thought everyone was like me and didn't know each other until we got here. But if this picture is real, then could that mean... Could it be everyone else? And just me? Everyone here except me is... How long are you gonna keep up this rambling soliloquy of yours, Hamlet?
What are you gonna do?
You're kinda getting in the way standing there, you know. So, I mean, get out! But, I told you, I'm not fielding any questions.
Unbelievable.
What kind of mystery would this be if I gave you all the answers? That'd be totally out of left field. And we get jibber jabber again. Guess that means he's done talking. Damn it! Group foe's been added to True Vault section. So in the end, all I found in the gym was even more confusion. And with that confusion in hand, I left the gym dejected. How does that count as a hint? It just made me even more confused. Well, I don't think it's too hard to figure out. We found that pocketbook and some study notes and the like from Hiro, apparently, in the second floor dormitory. That hints that apparently everybody has had to have met each other before this killing game began. That's what it hints at, anyway. Otherwise it could just be forgeries. And then we have that group photo that we just found. Also another hint pointing towards that apparently everybody must have known each other before this killing game began, even though no one ever acted like that was the case. And then there was also those other photos we've occasionally come across throughout the game as well, also showing some of the students here. Undoubtedly, it's the same kind of photo. They're the same kind of photos like the one we were just given just now. To me, this all seems to pretty much point towards a big hint here that things are not as we remember them, it seems. Either that, or they're all some kind of big elaborate forgery meant to confuse us. We can't dismiss that possibility either. Question is, which is which? Did he put together a fake photo just to confuse me? But it looked so real, so full of life. How could anyone fake that? Which would mean everyone but me. Maybe I should just ask everyone directly. I should clear all this up. No, I have to clear all this up. Alright, let's go look for everybody then. First off, Byakuya is here in the archive. So explain yourself, Byakuya. Why was I not included in the group photo? Do you all hate me that much? Oh, Byakuya. Listen, do you think we could talk? Byakuya?
That's enough.
I have nothing to talk to you about. Don't talk to me as if we're friends. Why the cold shoulder, man? Or at least colder than usual. Hey, Byakuya, wait! But of course he didn't. He just walked away. What the? How is he acting like that? Like he was personally trying to avoid me. Is there anything else in here? No, I don't think so. Okay, next person. Who's next in line? Apparently, it's Hiro. Hey, Hero. Gah! Makoto! What's going on with you? Every time I see you, you freak out like that. No, No! Sorry, but I'm in a big hurry! Once again, he ran off like a terrified rabbit. Hero, what's wrong? I still wasn't able to talk to him about the notebook I'd found. It was like he was avoiding me. Like he was afraid of me. Why? If I could wager a guess, I'd say it has to do with that photo that we were just shown. And specifically, how you're not a part of it. I decided to visit the biolab one more time. The first thing I saw when I got there. Somebody just left you here all passed out. Again. How rude. Was her. Passed out. Again. Huh? Toko? And look at that! This thing's open. Toko! Are you okay? No. No! She's not dead, is she? And, good evening to you, Jill. Ah! It's cold. It's super cold. It's so cold, I think I might catch cold. If you keep taking naps in places like this, I'm sure you will.
I see.
What? I was asleep? I must have fainted again. I bet you were standing there, staring at me, getting all excited. Weren't you? Yeah, I was getting excited, but not the kind you're thinking about. No, I wasn't.
Have you reached that certain age?
Oh, then what? Hot and bothered? Straight up horny? Okay, so why did you pass out? I don't know. Last thing I remember was me waking up just now. What'd you do to Miss Morose? Oh, that's right. Your memory stops and starts each time you switch. Bingo bazinga! We share some basic knowledge, but our memories are very much separate. And don't say it like it's a bad thing. It's a blessing as far as I'm concerned. Because even if she forgets something, I totally remember. So it's like double the memory. More like divided the memory. No, it's more like half. Genocide Jack's memory has been added. But all I want to know right now is, where's my little darling? Tell me now or I slit your throat. I don't know. I'm sure Byakuya is around somewhere, doing his own investigating.
Yes, yes.
By himself? I assume so.
Oh, I'm on fire.
I knew it. I totally knew it. I'm a total pro when it comes to all things master. Anyway, I gotta hurry. I can't even imagine how lonely he must be right now. Toko shot off, her eerie laughter echoing behind her. I totally forgot to ask her about the picture. Well, there's no point in asking Genocide Jack anyway. Besides, I have more important things to do right now. Why did Toko faint? There's gotta be some reason for it. I don't know. Maybe this thing? Fridge. It's open. But I'm sure they were all shut tight last time I was here. That must be why she passed out.
Right.
Oh, hey. Nice of you to join us. She faints so easily. Kyoko!
Makoto.
It's getting late, isn't it? Are you okay?
Indeed.
I'm sorry if I made you worry. No, you don't have to apologize.
Listen.
But listen, about this room. Oh yeah,
It would seem...
it's a morgue. Yeah,
I knew it.
I suspected as much. And Toko must have looked inside the fridge, seen what was in there, and... well, there you have it. You knew she fainted?
Indeed.
I was on my way here when Genocide Jack came running past me. I assumed she must have sneezed, but once I got inside, the real reason became clear.
It would seem...
I imagine she came here to investigate, and when she opened the slot there, that's when she saw the body inside and dropped like a bag of rocks. Why's everything gotta be so difficult with her?
Anyway,
We should close it up. Don't want to leave it hanging open like that. Yeah, good idea.
Makoto.
Give me a hand with this. Kyoko approached the fridge, hands outstretched. But suddenly, she stopped. And so too did the music. What's wrong?
Listen.
Maybe we should wait a sec before closing it. Huh? How come? Because Mukuro's body is in here. Mukuro's corpse? Mukuro's body is inside the fridge?
I see.
Just like every other time, the mastermind probably brought it up here while we were in the class trial. The mastermind did it. Because they assumed we wouldn't be doing the class trial over again, I guess.
So...
You may be right. Either way, now I can finally get a good look at the body. Oh, that's right. Kyoko didn't get a chance to check the body during the last investigation.
Makoto.
I need to do my own examination of the corpse as soon as possible. I'm going to find a clue this time. I'm going to grab the mastermind by the tail. Okay, so what should I do?
So then...
Why don't you just wait over there? I'll let you know when I'm finished. Just wait over there? That's it. She's the detective, not you. You better let her poke at the corpse. Let her poke at the corpse, excuse me. Fridge meant for storing dead bodies. Can't do it, I can't look inside. Should ask Kyoko about that poop photo. After all, she's in it too. Don't let me interrupt your investigation, but I wanted to talk to you about something. What is it? It's about that announcement Monokuma made earlier. You mean the one about a hint or something? I didn't take him up on the offer. Huh? Why not?
Because...
The only reason he'd give us a hint at this point would be to confuse us, cloud our judgment. I can solve the mystery on my own, without whatever hints he may have to offer. That's a good point. Wish I could go back and do the same thing, but what's done is done, I guess. Standing here looking at her, I don't think she's hiding anything from me. Is she right? Did the mastermind forge that picture as a trap to confuse us? It's gotta be it. There's no other explanation. Ask Kyoko about the group photo, okay? Sure, you're not gonna say anything, okay? Can we leave? Can't leave things the way they are right now? Okay, let's just look around a bit. Already looked through the instruction manual, more importantly. You know, I think I've seen a tarp like this somewhere before. It's the same one I found in the garden tool shed. If I remember, that tarp has a stamp on it that said Biolab. And that's the tarp that was used to help camouflage the murder in the garden. At some point, someone got it from the Biolab and took it over there. Tarp has been updated. Outside refrigerator. It would seem the blue light comes on when a slot is occupied. So when someone's in there, the blue light comes on. Looking around the number of lights that are on, including Mukuro's, there's 9 in all. 9. 9 lights? Finally noticed a contradiction, Makoto? Okay, Makoto. I'm done. Already? Jeez, that was fast.
Indeed.
Anyone can do good work if they go slow. In that spirit, I'll make my report brief. So, did you find anything?
Indeed.
I paid particular attention to the wounds and the traces of blood. It seems highly likely that the stomach wound and blow to the back of the head were inflicted after death. Then that leaves only one thing left that could have been the cause of death. according to the Monokuma file, the wounds that were already on the body that were several days old. That had to have been what killed her. Really? The burnt tissue made things a little difficult, but I'm completely confident in my findings. So that means neither of those were the fatal injury, right? Then what was the fatal injury? Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife, which went completely through the body. The also struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. The only other option is those other wounds, but the file said they were old.
Is that right?
Where does it say they're old? Huh?
Because...
All the Monokuma file says is that they were inflicted at least several days ago. I guess I don't see the difference.
Wrong.
Well, the difference is immense, considering the impression they give.
Listen.
You seem to be equating several days old with simply old.
However...
But that doesn't quite follow logically. Old wounds. It makes it sound like they've been there forever, like they're not related to the murder. Are you saying they are? But we all got the Monokuma file right after she was killed, right? So if the wounds were at least a few days old, there's no way they could have had anything to do with it.
So then...
But what if Mukuro herself wasn't killed within the last few days? What?
At the very least...
Certainly you can allow it as one of the many possibilities, can't you? One of many?
Right.
A detective doesn't have supernatural powers. There's no way to predict the answer from the beginning. Instead, the ideal detective begins by imagining as many possible scenarios as they can.
In other words...
They envision these possibilities without prejudice, without bias, using only their logic and common sense. Then, as they investigate, they test what they find against each of these possibilities. Of course, me telling you this doesn't mean you'll be any good at detective work. But beyond using that to solve this particular mystery, you should keep it in mind for the future. Kyoko's account's been added.
Hey.
So if there's anything else you'd like to know about the condition of the body, now's the time. Come to think of it, there was one thing. Earlier, when I was looking at Mukuro's profile, it listed her height and weight.
So...
5 foot 7 inches, 97 pounds, vitals were 31, 22, 32. Did I get all that right? You remembered all that? They are indeed consistent with the corpse. So then...
Indeed.
And don't forget about the Fenrir tattoo. There's absolutely no mistake.
Indeed.
Our victim in this case is, without a doubt, Mukuro Ikusaba. Okay, now I had you updated.
And?
Is that all you wanted to ask? Yeah, I think so.
So then...
Then it looks like we have no further business with Mukuro's body. Let's get going. It's kind of chilly in here. Oh wait, are you not going to put the body back? Don't you think it's kind of sad leaving it out like this?
Why?
Sad. Did you forget? She was our enemy once. A part of the ultimate despair. But she still got killed. She's still a victim, but she's far from innocent.
Hey.
Have you ever heard the phrase, you reap what you sow? Well, yeah, but still.
Whew.
You really are naive, you know that? It's really quite appalling. I know, Kyoko. It's a wonder that he's made it through elementary school. But she could have abandoned me. But she decided to help me instead. So for someone like that, what does it mean to be naive?
So then...
I think we've done all we can do here. Back to our separate investigations, yes? Hold on! I still have one more thing to do. Something I need to talk to Kyoko about. I need to ask her about the pocketbook I found in that locker. If I don't do it now... Hey, Kyoko. I did have one last thing. I know I shouldn't, but I feel like I have to ask.
What?
Go ahead, then. Out with it. Have you really not seen your dad even once since you got here?
What?
What?
So...
What do you mean? Well, you know all those lockers on the second floor of the dorms?
Indeed.
I do, yes. But to get into any of the lockers, you need the handbook of whoever the locker belongs to. Actually, I managed to get them open using the emergency handbook.
I see.
The one you found in the headmaster's hidden room.
And?
So, did you find anything worthwhile in the lockers? I found a pocketbook. And after looking through it, I think it must be your pocketbook.
Why is that?
What makes you say that?
Because...
Like I said, only the locker's owner should be able to get into it, right? I can't imagine those lockers belong to any of us. After all, we only got access to that area just recently. What I'm saying is, there's no way I could have had access to any of those lockers. Wrong, you had that key. And if I did have a pocketbook, why would I bother putting it in a locker? Everything you just said makes perfect sense. Not entirely. But there was something written inside. It was about the headmaster. About your father.
What? If that's true...
Could that mean that video is real too? Video? Mukuro. I think everything is finally starting to fit together to reveal a cohesive picture. Although, I'm afraid that picture might be worse than anything we could have imagined. What are you talking about? I need to go investigate those lockers, right now. I need to confirm what you just said with my own two eyes. Let me give you the headmaster's handbook. That way you can...
So...
That won't be necessary. If I'm right about this, I shouldn't have any problem opening the locker with my own handbook. After all, it would seem that it's my locker. Your locker.
Makoto.
If you watch this, it'll all make sense. Class 78 Urgent Interviews. A DVD. It says Class 78 Urgent Interviews.
So...
I found it in that hidden room after you left.
Anyway...
I don't have time to explain exactly what I think it means. So just watch and see for yourself. I think you'll realize exactly what it means. You'll understand why you found my pocketbook in a place none of us have ever seen before. None of this makes sense right now. But I guess that means there's some important clue on this DVD. Interview DVD.
Makoto.
Oh, and now it's my turn. Do you have a second to listen to me ramble? Ramble?
In other words...
So, as it turns out, the arrangements I made didn't stick. What I mean is, I'm less and less sure of everything. Even my own feelings. You're talking about your dad, right? I can never find the answers to the questions I want to ask. For the rest of my life. And all because of the mastermind.
However...
But there's one thing I am sure of. When it comes to the mastermind, there's no room in my heart for forgiveness. I swore to destroy the mastermind. This is just one more reason to follow through on that. Kyoko's eyes burned with the fire of determination. The determination to defeat the mastermind. It's strange to be confronted with his death and suddenly feel this way. I couldn't care less if my father had found happiness.
Why?
So why is it? Why does it bother me so much to know how he suffered? It's ridiculous. There's just no understanding it, I guess. You're just not being honest with yourself about your feelings. She let out a small sigh, a small laugh as she said it. But her smile was filled with sorrow.
Whew.
So, that's it for my rambling. There's still so much to do before I can consider my task complete. Yeah, you're right.
Hey.
But keep this in mind. There is only one absolute truth. Whether that truth serves justice or suffering, whether it's the greatest truth or the worst. What do you mean?
Makoto.
Even if the truth you uncover is filled with hopelessness, you still can't give up hope. Absolutely not. Because all I can do is keep moving forward. That's pretty much all I'm good at, you know? Indeed. Sorry if that was strange.
So then,
Anyway, I need to get going. I'll see you at the class trial. Leaving behind that final farewell, Kyoko was gone. I better get going myself. I got that DVD from Kyoko. I should head to the AV room to check it out. Kyoko said something about hopeless truth. But no matter what happens, I won't lose hope. Even if it's the worst truth in the world. I can't afford to lose. Well, we're gonna hold you to that, my friend. Alright, here we are. Let's go in here. Wait a minute, where's Hina? I never found Hina, did I? Oh. Well, let me just check on you real fast. Can't believe I almost forgot you. So this is where you've been hiding. Listen, I was hoping to talk to you. Makoto? Sorry, gotta go. What? She ran off so fast I didn't even have time to ask her to stop. Hina, why? Why don't you talk to me? Probably for the same reason everyone else isn't talking to you, my friend. Alright, enough distractions. Let's get to the AV room. This should be able to play DVDs just fine. Well then, I better take a look. I took the DVD Kyoko gave me and put it in the player. It said that it was playing, but nothing appeared on the screen. I stared into the black of the monitor. It must have only been a few seconds, but to me it felt like an eternity. And then, all of a sudden, an image appeared. Sayaka! It took me by total surprise. I hadn't seen Sayaka in who knows how long, and there she was. And it looks like she's being interviewed by the headmaster.
Okay then, are you ready to begin?
The voice I heard was the man positioned on one side of the screen. It was the voice of a middle-aged man.
I do apologize, but I hope you don't mind if I record our conversation. I'm a little slow, you know. I never really got the hang of taking notes while having a conversation.
It sounded like he was trying to make a joke, but Sayaka's tense face didn't move a single millimeter.
So this video is meant to serve as a kind of contract substitute. It's not that I don't trust you guys. It's more like insurance. So please don't worry too much. Now then, let me get straight to the point. There is a chance that you may have to spend the rest of your life here in the school. Can you accept that?
You want me to accept that? Sayaka was obviously at a total loss. It made total sense. Who would agree to spending the rest of your life in this school? I accept. What?
Thank you. And I'm sorry about all this. Well, I can promise you that I will do everything in my power to keep you safe. As the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy, I give you my word.
As if on cue, that's where the video cut out. There was a lot I hadn't understood up till now. But this... only this... I simply couldn't comprehend what I'd heard. Because I know how much Psyche wanted to get out of here. I think we can all kind of all agree at this point here that with all the clues that we've been getting up until now, along with this thing that we're looking at right here, there is clearly something going on here with all these clues pointing towards a past that's shared between everybody here that supposedly never actually happened. All these things have got to be tied into the biggest mystery surrounding this school. Perhaps, most likely, why we were all chosen to begin with for this killing game. I know how much she wanted to escape and pursue her dreams of her friends again. She wanted that so bad. She tried to frame me for murder. So, why? Why would she say yes to living here for the rest of her life? As I sat there thinking about it, I noticed a sudden light. On the monitor, the video I thought was finished flashed back on screen. My eyes darted back to the screen. And if I was confused before, what I saw next pushed me right over the edge. There's me! Huh? What I saw was me. And possibly, undeniably, me.
So, Makoto, before we begin, I should let you know that I'll be recording our conversation.
Yes.
Me and the headmaster were looking at each other. He and I were having what seemed like a fairly normal conversation. But the I in the here and now, had absolutely no memory of it. I had no memory of meeting the headmaster, much less sitting down to talk with him like this.
Now, shall we get straight to the point? Makoto, there's a chance you may have to spend the rest of your life here in the school. Can you accept that?
Yes.
This can't be real. I said, yes?
I'm sorry I'm putting you through all this.
Remember those dreams that Makoto had back in Chapter 5? Where he seemed to be talking to himself, saying that his goal isn't to get out of here, but to stay here? If those dreams are actually real, then that would coincide with what we're seeing here. Where we're apparently agreeing to stay here, or possibly stay here, in the school for the rest of our lives. So, therefore, that probably means that this video here that we're looking at is undoubtedly real. So, what do you think that means? Well, like I was saying before, given all the other evidence we had, it looks to me like it's very, very, very possible that there is a lot that happens between all of us that we simply don't remember for some reason.
Well, I mean, we don't have much of a choice, do we?
But I promise that as long as you're in this school, I will do everything I can to protect you. As the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy, that's the very least I can do for you.
Once again, the video cut out. From there, the video repeated the same scene again and again with the others. Yakuya, Toko, Hina, everyone. They all said that they agreed to live in this school forever. And then Kyoko. Her interview of him had been recorded just as clearly. Without a doubt, she had met him. She sat down with the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy, her father, and when he asked her his question, she answered the same as everyone else. she accepted a life within the school. Just as Kyoko's interview was wrapping up, the monitor suddenly went black. Huh? It wasn't just the monitor. The DVD player itself had apparently been turned off, which of course meant that the DVD wasn't playing anymore. What the heck just happened?
Say what?
Oopsie! Looks like it broke. Out of service. Well, that sucks. Can you call the nearest maintenance associate to come fix it? What? You just so happened to break just now?
Too bad.
Now then, when, doesn't matter. Failure can strike anywhere, anytime. That's what failure is, right? Failure, my ass! You cut the power on purpose! Whatever. Even if I watched the whole thing, it'd just be more of the same. He'd ask them the question and they'd all say yes. No, Makoto. Think. Why would Monokuma cut the power out here? Probably because he doesn't want you to see something in there that you were just about to see. And considering that they're all interviews with everybody who's been in this killing game, it would seem, up until now, that would undoubtedly have to include the mastermind themselves. And if you saw who the mastermind likely was, then, well, that wouldn't be good for them now, would it? But that's okay. Like I pointed out earlier, using a few other hints and contradictions I noticed within the biolab and the like, I think you could pretty much get a good idea of who the mastermind likely is anyway at this point. So that's fine, Monokuma. I'll just expose you for who you really are in the class trial. I remembered something.
That's right.
I fainted too. When I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Memory was gone. And undoubtedly, her amnesia is probably tied to all this stuff.
Hey.
A convenient outcome. Something that seemed to obviously work in favor of the mastermind. So does that mean I've lost my memory too? What about the others? Have we all forgotten? Or... Just looking at everything we got here, that's what it looks like to me. You've all forgotten. And it was all undoubtedly the work of our mastermind here.
For anything that has a start, there has to be an end. And if the end comes, then that means it's time for a fresh start. There is no night that doesn't have a dawn. Although that dawn is totally pitch black, there is no storm that won't eventually end. Of course, then that leads to drought. But as I said, every end is the promise of a new beginning. Which is why I'm sure we'll get to meet again, because the end is only the beginning. Anyway, let's get started. The beginning of the end of the class trial. Everyone gather once again at you-know-where.
It's about to begin again. The class trial is going to start. The final class trial. The last time all our lives will be on the line. The last time hope and despair are on the line. I don't have a choice. I have to do this. Okay then. This is the end. Let's do this. Time for our final showdown. I guess I'm the first one this time.
Makoto,
You're early, Makoto.
listen.
Spoke too soon. Does that mean you feel prepared? Yeah. For now, at least. But where's everyone else? Why aren't they here yet?
However,
Don't worry. I'm sure they'll be here soon. And just like she said. Byakuya! Byakuya? They arrived, one after another. But they were all in the same state of shock. Hina. Hiro? We're missing somebody. Silence. And it wasn't any normal silence. It was the deafening silence of fear and suspicion. It was like the first-class trial. There you are.
And so I appear.
I'm late.
I'm on fire.
Ah, strong silent master is so wonderful. So cool, so hot. My loins are ablaze.
Yes,
Now listen, everything will be just fine if you leave it to me.
my beautiful scissors.
With my sharp scissors in hand, I'll stab and gouge and shift the master of evil. But I thought you couldn't kill anyone but adorable little boys. If it's what Master wants, it can be boy, girl, or anything in between. I can handle it. I think you need to get a better handle on your allergies first before you go around killing anybody. Just saying. Where am I? No human language can describe the disappointment I'm feeling right now. Then speak in Cthulhu's language. Is everyone here? Oh, wearing our gloomy goose faces, I see.
Well now.
Well, okay. Well then. Let's begin.
Thrills, chills, kills!
This final class trial is going to be slathered in pitch black despair. Climaxium sorrow!
that's fine.
You're right. This is the final class trial. And this time, it'll be fair. What do you mean, this time? Stop all the slander. I'm a bear in good standing, you know.
Unbelievable.
If there was a Mr. Fair Guy contest, universe contest, I'd take home the tiara every year. I'm gonna win this game super fair and square.
Today, I'm feeling white.
And I'll make sure everyone watching at home knows that despair is mightier than the hope.
Stop talking.
Enough of your tedious drivel. Begin the trial already. Sure. Let's begin the trial already. I'll be waiting for you down below.
You guys.
So don't try and run away. Laughing as loud as ever, Monokuma disappeared. Whatever.
In the name of my family.
This'll be over in no time. With an inexplicable confidence, Byakuya was the first into the elevator. One by one, the others followed. Nobody made eye contact. Nobody said a word. They just disappeared into the elevator.
Hey,
They're all acting odd. Like they're paranoid, suspicious of each other.
however,
But you know why that is, don't you? Yeah, I think so.
however,
Well, you can tell us all about it soon. At the class trial. You're right. I'm ready.
so,
Ready to win, right? I wouldn't accept any other condition other than winning. That was kind of redundant to me. I am sorry. Of course. I'm glad to hear you say that. And then Kyoko was aboard the elevator. One last time for coins. And the god of monocoins frowns upon me. Start making my way towards the opening. Step after step toward that gaping maw. I resolved that this would be the last time. I repeated to myself that there was no fear, no mystery left. I pushed the anxiety down, calmed my trembling body, and finally on steady legs. I passed the threshold and stood in the elevator. Without warning, it began to descend. Deeper and deeper. 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 Deeper still. Deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper it fell. I closed my eyes, and sight fell away. All sound, too, disappeared. Alone in the universe, I waited for the elevator doors to open for the last time. What could have been seconds or centuries later. I felt the gentle vibration of the elevator come to an end. I slowly opened my eyes. Now, this is a very industrial-looking place. This is the final trial site. What do you think? Isn't it just the perfect background for deciding a person's fate? It's a long-awaited last stage, the always exciting final boss battle. And I'm gonna sit in on this one. I'll just sit right here in the vacant 16th seat.
Thrills, chills, kills!
Well then, let's begin! Indeed, Monokuma, let's begin in the next episode. I'm going to go ahead and cut things off here. And we can get started on our final battle with the mastermind next time. I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of Danganronpa. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I will see you all next time. Take care.